Hi YouTube. In this video tutorial, we are going to make a super exciting project that combines coding, creativity, AI, Next.js, and how we wire up all these stuff. So the app that we are going to build is a emoji code generator. Why I chose this topic? Because this is a trendy word for people who use social media. And for example, uh, let's say you're feeling happy and you want to write something or share something with your friends on social media. Why not have something very quick instead of going to Google and searching, or going to Pinterest and searching for quotes there? Why not just select an emoji and get something really cool like a quote and copy the code, take it to the social media and post it there? So this is the idea, and it's very basic for right now, but maybe you can take this and improve it further, add more features into it. So this tutorial is for someone who has a little bit of hands-on experience with the coding, because we're not going to do the code from very scratch, because it's time consuming. Most of the front end or the UI code, we will already have it on the GitHub, and I'll also share the GitHub link so you can take the code from there and follow up. Everything we will do, the project is currently deployed into Vercel. You can deploy your project there for free. And we're using Google Gemini as a external API for to generate the content for us. This is how the architecture of the application going to look like. So it will be consist of three main parts. We will have a front end which you also see here, and the moment we select emoji, it will be sent to our backend, and that API will take that emoji and put it into Google Gemini, and based on that emoji we will generate a code, and that code will be feed into our front end. That's how the user will be able to see this right here. So let's start doing the live coding, and I will walk you through each step, and we will do it together. So let's go to the coding. So before we fire up our terminal, here is the building block of the all the technologies that we will be using. Again, I'm just recapping everything. Next.js we will use for the front end and for the API routes. Google Gemini API will be used for the AI content generation, and Tailwind will be used for styling, and Vercel will be using for development. So this project is mainly for the developers who are interested in web apps and AIs. So first of all, like, you need to have the latest and greatest Node.js, or anything above 18 or later will work. So first thing, when you make sure that you have your node, you're going to write this command or type this command and run it in your terminal to generate the project. So it's a simple npx command, and this will be your project name. You can name it anything you like, but I'll name it this, and I'll hit next. It will ask me some questions. If you like to use TypeScript, you can use TypeScript. If you like to use your JS, you can use your JS. But as you can see, we are using JS. We are not using TypeScript, so I'll just go with the JS. If you want to use Lint.js, otherwise you can use no. Tailwind for CSS, yes, we'll definitely use source directory. We'll use app routing. We'll just go with as it is for right now, and it will start working, creating our project. So this will take a minute or two. In the meantime, what you will need is Google AI for developers. You can come here. If you have your Google account, you can create any Google account and then sign in with your Google account, and here you will come to you will see something like this, and you can come here for a quick start. Because we need an API key from here, you can use Node.js or any technology that you are working with. It will tell you to npm this one, but we'll do this later. What we really need from here is a Gemini key. You can just click this one and it will bring you here. You can create your key. As I have already created one key, I don't want to create another key, but for you have to click this one and copy the key and just keep that secure somewhere. You will need it later, and I'll tell you where you will need that. So coming back here, here are different models for text generation. If you come here, you can see that there are some guides, and you have to find which model you're using. So I'll come to Gemini and we'll use one of the model from here. So 1.5 flash, there's the text generation model that you will use. I'll show you in the code. So let's visit back. As you can see that this is already created, and I have created on the desktop, and I can see that the project is here. So I can just cd into it, emoji, and here I have cd into it, and I'll also import the project to my favorite IDE. Whatever IDE you are using, you can bring your project there, but I'm using VS Code. I can come here. So you can see the project structure. It's divided into several different files. You got everything in the source, and inside source we have app, and here is the page.js, which is mostly like your index.js. So anything that you want to do, like for example your home component will go here. So let's run it and see. You can use the command. You can use the command npm run drive to run it and see. So it's starting. It's very fast compared to the React. So if I come here and run it, you can see the default UI for the Next.js, but we don't need a lot of these stuff. You can remove a lot of these stuff from here, and we'll just return something very simple. So we don't need this footer and stuff. From here, just delete everything, and I'll just do a simple h2 for right now, and I'll say emoji code gen, and we'll save it and come back here and see. You see that it goes on here. So as what we will be doing is we will be creating our front end first, and then we'll be creating our backend. So for the front end, what we actually need is a home component, right? Mean this home page with at least two components, one for this area, so we can select the emoji, and another component for this area where the actual code after the generation will be showed. So we'll be doing this and we'll be speeding up the process, because I want you to do it as soon as possible and have this deployed in Vercel. So let's come here, right? So this is the home component that I was telling about, and we'll at least this home component will have two places, like two components, or we can say two different sections. One section for emoji selection, another section for the actual code that will come back from our backend. So I have put here a document which will help us during this development process, and it will contain our most of our code snippets, and I'll also push this one, and if in case you need to follow up. So the first thing that you need to see here is our project structure, which is how it will look like. So it will have a source, source is already there, and an app, and then an API, and then inside API we'll have a generate directory. Let's create this. We have API, we have app, we have API, but we need generate directory as well inside the API. So we'll create here new directory, and new directory will be named as generate, and then this generate will have our API route, which will make the actual backend call. So inside the generate we'll have this route.js folder. Right now we're going to do nothing with this one. So I'll come back here and we'll see we already have page.js, so we don't need to do anything with that. We need a components directory, which we're missing here, and this component directory is at the same place as inside app. So it will be at the same place as app is. So we'll come to the source and we'll create this components directory. So not here but here. We can see that it is outside of the it's in the same directory as source is. It's not inside the source. So we'll come to the root directory and create. But as we can see, so once we created this generate directory, we need to create the components directory as well. So I'll copy the components, go inside the source, create this directory, and this directory will have both our components, like our emoji selector .js and also the code display, which is the core functionality of this function. We'll come back here to our knowledge MD file, and we'll also create this one. No, I think I created the wrong place, so it will be inside the component here. So now let's create our front end. For the time's sake, I'm going to copy the code snippet from here and go over it to explain it. So we'll copy this emoji selector first. So this is the first this was the emoji selection area that I told you about, and I'm going to copy this one and then show you actual, like, explain it inside the coding API. So the formatting is a little bit off. We need to do the formatting. So this emoji selector has a preset of some of the emoji along with string meaning. The string is very good. For example, if somebody's click this one, we'll send this one to the backend API. If they select the said one, we'll do this one. You can add more emojis into it as if you like, but for me these are working. So the main purpose of this component is to take that emoji selection and give it to the home page. So we'll also come to the code display area, and let's go to the code display coding snippet. So come here and then copy this whole thing and take it to the code display and paste it there and then save it. So the main purpose of this whole component is to just show that code that's being generated along with the button of copy. So copy button and the code, this is the actual code that will be shown. So this will come from the page.js. Eventually it will come from backend. So let's come here and we'll also edit this. So I'll come here, and I also got the code for this one too. So copy all the way from here to here. So once we have this one, I will explain this one too. So this is our home component. It has an empty variable for the code, and also for the loading, and also for the error. So if we get a successful code, this will be by the help of the sit code, this hook will be populated. If it's loading, we'll see the loading. If there is any error, we'll set it an error. Generate code, this is the actual function that will call our backend API, but for right now just leave this one and let's come here. So as I was saying that the whole app will contain like 3 different sections. So if you see here this title is this code, emoji code generator. This is the emoji selector component, which will have a preset of the icons or emojis. We'll go back to here. So whatever emoji the user select, will pass it to the generate code function, and the generate code function will take that emoji, pass it to our backend API here in a JSON format, and then this backend API will make a backend call, and it will invoke the API generate, which is actually here API generate, and then it will come here. For right now we don't have anything there, so you shouldn't expect any result, and then the response will be returned, and it will populate our code variable, which will be eventually we'll be passing this to a code display component, and it will be shown there. So the emoji selector area is there, and then once that's been clicked, we'll see a loading for a little bit, and then if there is any error, you will see error. If there is no error and we have the code successfully with us, we'll pass it to the code display component, and it will be shown here. So let's see the front end for right now without any backend. So if we come here and run our project, right, so let's go to our create app, which is this for right now, but let's refresh it. So for right now, if we this is our front end, but if we click, we are going to make a call, fetch code from API. So it's trying to fetch a code from API, but since we don't have any route or any API call there, we're seeing that method not allowed, and there is no response. But very shortly we're going to make that call here, and luckily I have the coding snippet for it. In order to speed up the process, I'll paste this code there, and then I will explain it step by step. So here I will paste it, and I'll show you that how it is being invoked. So if you come to the page.js, right, and you see this generate code function, it's hitting the API and generate, and route.js is working with Next.js, so all the API's call will be make here. So if we'll come here, and let me explain this. So first of all, you need to install a Google generative AI. If you haven't, you can just do the npm install and this, and then initiate. It's not a good practice to output the Gemini API key that I told you about, to keep it somewhere secure. So I'm hoping that you have that somewhere secure, and then you'll come here and you will create a .m.local, and then just put your key here. Let me put my key so you know that how this is going to work. So I have saved mine here. I have saved mine here, but you need to save your. I'm going to delete this key after this. So you need to have your own key. Don't rely on my key. So you have to have your own. This API key is very useful in order to make that call. So you need to have this command to get your key, the type of key that you want. Then you need to initiate these two models. The first model will be initiated with the help of the key, and this is the model which is used for the content generation. And then straightly as soon as you hit the call, the API, this post call will be made. So this post call is taking the request, and that request is nothing but it's this request. that you are passing here. So you are making a fetch post call here, so this will actually come in that call. So it will come here, and first of all we will destructure the emoji that we received, and then we'll pass it to our query function. And any code that we get from our query function, I was doing a bunch of consoles, you don't need that, but it's good for the debug purposes, but it's not a good practice if your code is going to enter the production. So any response that you get from here, you can just return that response back. So let's go to the query function. So query function is taking your emoji, and you also need to write a good prompt. So it's that prompt will have your emoji, and it will be sent to their model, and that will generate some response, and the response will be returned here. So this response is coming back here. This response is coming back here, and then we get a code out of that response and outputting that response back to the page.js, and page.js will eventually set our code variable, and that code variable will be passed to our this code display.js. So now let's run it. Since we have both, our backend call works as well. Let's run it and see it in action. And refresh our project. And click function, and boom, you're gonna see the code. Hit another one and you're gonna see the code. So this is a wonderful AI project that we have done so far. If you have made it till now, great. You can patch yourself, and in next few steps we are going to deploy this bad boy to the Vercel. So great. This is a very great progress so far, and we are going to take this to the next level. We're going to deploy this project to the Vercel. So Vercel will host your project for free as far as you don't have a lot of traffic, so it will have it for free. So this works with GitHub and a bunch of other version controls, but for the simplicity's sake, we'll just do it with the help of the GitHub. So what you actually need is you need to create a new repository. So let's say emoji gen and Next.js app for codes gen. So you can create some repository like this. Once you have the repository, these are some of the steps that you need to take. For example, you need to initiate a git init inside the project. So I'll come back here, I'll say git init. So your repository will be initiated, and then we need to collect everything inside of our project. So I'll say git add. So I'll have bunch of files here, as you can see, along with the knowledge.md file, which I'm going to remove later, but I'll just push it for right now. And then I'll say that I'm going to commit my project. So I'll say initial commit, and the next step is I'll just commit everything to the main branch instead of making a new branch. I'm not going to make a new branch, but I'm just going to push everything to the main branch, and I'm going to push. So instead of emoji, I don't have any emoji branch. I'll just say I need to push everything to the master branch. So everything is here. Let's see our repository right now. Hopefully we'll have all the code being pushed here. So as you can see that all the code has come here. And now let's go to the Next.js and bring our repository here. So you need to connect to your GitHub. So you can just say so we don't want this one, we want another project. So come here and then just make this bigger to make it easy. So I'll say only selected repository. So I'll say emoji.gen, and I'll remove this one and I'll save this one. So this is completed. I'll come back here and I'm going to say that I'm going to deploy this one. Very important, you need to mention your variable here, whatever your variable name is. So if we come back here, right, so our code, when we are doing the API route call, our code is looking for this variable Gemini key. So we'll do this and say this Gemini key will bring our key here. Let's see what our key is. This is our key. So I'm going to copy the whole key here and paste it here, and then I'll say, let me make sure everything is correct, everything looks good, and then I'll say that yes, I'm good. Let's deploy this bad boy and see it in action. So it is deployed. Let's see in action and see if this is working or not working. Finger crossed, our first deployment is going live. Let's click an emoji and boom, we see code. So this is a wonderful news. So this was from end to end, from creating the project to deploy in Vercel. If you have better ideas that how we can improve this more and make it even more handy and more useful for real world, please mention it in the comment, and I can work on to improve this more. So bring some excellent ideas to the table. So I hope that you like this project so far. If you have any problem while you are following along, please you can discuss that and I'll respond to each of you. I hope that you like it. Thank you.